Hello again. Jared Case here, curator of film exhibitions at the Dryden Theater and the George Eastman Museum with another streaming recommendation. Now, one of the things we get to do at the Dryden Theater as a repertory film house is take a closer look at some film artists, do a little monograph, whether it's a director, actor, actress. We can build a series around that artist's filmography and look at it in a little more depth. So that's what I want to try to do this week. With the new film The Truth coming out with Ethan Hawke and Juliette Binoche, Catherine Deneuve, later this year, hopefully, from director Hirokazu Kore-eda. I wanted to go back and look at some of his previous films, including two that played at the Dryden Theater in the recent past. So starting with today's film, which is called Nobody Knows, from 2004. And this is a film, he's had seven, Kore-eda has had seven of his films, a dozen or so, actually play at Cannes, and this was one of the first, and it actually won the award for Best Actor for its young 12-year-old non-professional actor. So I think that Kore-eda probably had something to do with that performance. The story is actually based on real events that happened in Japan in 1998. At least that was the inspiration for it. Kore-eda claims that, and how would he know that this is not the actual situation that happened, but inspired by four children who will have four different fathers, but a single mother, and they are half-siblings that are living together. It's financially tough times. The mother is trying to get money or trying to limp along with the money that she has. So she's moving into an apartment at the beginning of the film, and she has only her oldest son, Akira, with her, 12 years old, and he is helping her. So she moves in with this young son and acknowledges that he will be there to help her out, or living with her. She's got the other three children as well, but she doesn't want the landlord to know that they're living there because that would exceed the occupancy of the apartment. So they move into this apartment, and she actually smuggles two of the smaller children in suitcases to make sure that they can't be seen. And the five of them live in this small apartment as the mother goes out to work and comes back home. And it really is up to Akira to make sure that everything is being taken care of at home. Now, his mother starts to leave for weeks at a time, which essentially puts him in charge of the family, maintaining not only the health and safety of the family and the children, but also the finances. She leaves him some money, but he's got to budget it and make sure that it lasts for as long as his mother's going to be gone, which unfortunately he doesn't know. It's really interesting that this is an earlier film, and his last film that we saw that played at the Dryden was Shoplifters, of course, the Best Foreign Language Film, the Cannes Palme d'Or winner from 2018, because they have similar themes in terms of families that are on the outside of society, that are struggling to get along, and that have their own definition of family that doesn't necessarily fit with the rigid strictures that we would call a family or define as a family. They are people that are together and they take care of each other, which makes them a family. It's also interesting that Kore-eda got his start in documentary films as first an assistant director and then a director. He has certainly a humanist approach that references not only Yasujiro Ozu and Akira Kurosawa, but also Hu Xiaoxian. And when he's been asked about these influences before, and he actually feels that one of his larger influences is Ken Loach, the British social humanitarian who makes films such as I, Daniel Blake, that came out in 2018, I believe 17, 18. And you can see that in his approach as well, in that he's looking at these societal issues and how they affect real people, not necessarily looking and talking about them as issues per se, but as how these issues affect the common man. And this incident of child abandonment and how society makes sure that people subscribe to their rigid doctrines, and how people are trying to survive despite them, particularly with Akira and him wanting to be a boy and have his own life, which he shouldn't be having this responsibility for taking care of an entire family at such a young age. But this is a wonderful film, and it's a great way to start out our little monograph on Hirokazu Kore-eda. It's streaming on Hulu, so please go check that out, and we'll have another Kore-eda for you tomorrow.